All right, welcome everybody. All right, I hope you guys are having a great, what is today? Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. Hi. All right. I have a recipe for you guys that you need to try. So if you haven't tried the peppermint lean and the scoop of calming cocoa, it is amazing. I did it yesterday. I did actually 2 scoops of peppermint, 1 scoop of cocoa, 2 scoops of collagen in a blender with some ice. So good. I use almond milk. But my friend Angie did heavy whipping cream with that and made like a mousse in the blender. So good. Okay, my other recipe. I don't know if you guys are into like fresh ginger and turmeric, but I go in fits and spurts of making like a big half-gallon of ginger turmeric tea, which is super healthy. There's lots of reasons to do it. It's super anti-inflammatory. I just mix it in with my Slim and Active. It is delicious. It's not hard to make. You just find, get turmeric, like fresh turmeric, fresh ginger. And you can either like, grate it and put it in a pot with boiling water and then strain it out, or I just put it in the blender. I don't know if it's not as effective. I don't know. It's just faster. And then with all the pulp, I'll put that in a saucepan with extra water and just kind of make like some extra tea just to kind of get all the goodness I can from that, the rest of the hard roots, and then strain it, and I'll serve it either hot or cold, but it is really good mixed with pink drink. And my 4-year-old calls it my spicy pink drink. So there you go, 2 recipes you can try. Alrighty, well, I cannot believe this is the last session, but that doesn't mean that our work is done, right? So I want to just vision cast for you guys that you are the next up and coming leaders. Like you already are leaders, up and coming leaders, but you're the next gems and jewels and diamonds in Plexus. And so we're looking at the next year, right? Thinking, oh my goodness, I cannot wait. You guys are going to grow your teams. You're going to find more leaders. You're going to find more customers. You're going to bring more people in for a product experience and convert them over to sharing ambassadors. It's going to be incredible. So fun. And so don't grow weary in well doing. I just want to encourage you, like, this is the work. The work is worth it. And it's rinse, wash, repeat. Sometimes you host a sip and see, or you host an online event and it feels like a complete dud, right? And then other times you help someone make their first post, or you help someone go live and it's like they sign 10 people from it, So it's just the continuing to do it and keep it on, and not to grow weary in well doing. I totally forgot my Bible, but it's okay. I read, I don't even remember which chapter. It's one of the end chapters of First Corinthians. And when I read it, I was reading out of the KJV, but I remember Carissa actually quoting this verse. It was a different version, but it was the verse that said, basically, this is the paraphrase, that no one heeds the call of an uncertain trumpet. And I thought that was it's so funny that it's in the Bible, and two, how it applies to us and our businesses. And I just was talking to someone today about someone on their team that just doesn't respond typically, or very quickly to them, or they'll go months without responding. And so it's kind of one of those things where, as a leader, we have the perspective of you run, I run, you walk, I walk, you jog, I jog. So we match the enthusiasm of the person that's working with us. But one of the things that we were talking about this morning is how much the uncertainty, the lack of drive or enthusiasm, the lack of urgency, and the lack of consistency kills this business. And which I know none of you are like this, but I think it's just important to remember and to remind our teams, maybe in a more generalized way, and to encourage them, like, hey, no one heeds the call of an uncertain trumpet. You need to know what you want and why. We've got to have clarity as leaders of where we're going, so they know where the ship is heading, where the airplane's, where the destination is. And then if we're not bold and clear in our message, like, who's going to follow us, right? And so I think as we encourage our teams to also stay consistent, because the consistency compounds, to stay committed to the bigger vision, because that's what's attractive to people. That's magnetic, actually. It's super magnetic. But I did want to review really quickly with you guys about the tasks, the October tasks. So the monthly tasks. So you can write these down in case you haven't done them yet. Hopefully all of you have a checklist that's already been written out to the side of this. But add 4 new VIPs this month and help a level 1 rank up. So I want you to pop in the chat if you've done this. If you haven't done it, for accountability's sake, I want you to put in what you still need to accomplish yet this month, okay? Guys, 3 full days in the month, plenty of time to get our goals, right? Plenty of time. It's like 3 whole days is like 3 weeks in other jobs, right? And this is the thing is like, I think a lot of times we have, our hour or 2 a day that we work our Plexus business, but sometimes like at the end of the month, it's like, ooh, like I don't have my goals yet. I wasn't super diligent, or maybe the work that I've done, I don't have results from that yet. So I'm gonna have to tap in more. I'm gonna have to take the chair challenge and do more than I have done in order to get the goals that I say that I want to get, right? So last 3 days of the month, clear the schedule. Justin and I have lived our life like this for years, where we don't plan extra things, barring our kids in sports, which no one that's done right now. But we don't plan extra things the last 3 days of the month. I'm not trying to like babysit for my sister-in-law, or host people at our house for dinner, or I don't even know, like volunteer for extra things so that you can carve out extra time in your day. Have a shareholders meeting. If your family is kind of in and out with Plexus, or they don't really know what you do, have a conversation with them. If you have littles at home, hire a babysitter, ask your mother-in-law, ask your mom, like, hey, can you take the kids this afternoon? That way, if you have some intentional time to like bang it out, you can get stuff done. And it feels so good to get your Plexus work done. Because then guess what? Close the books, close the computer, put your phone away, and go be with the kids, right? Or be with your hubby, or go do what you have planned to do. So, okay, so number one thing is add 4 VIPs this month, help level 1 rank up. I actually have done that. I'm so excited. This is a larger recruitment month for me. I think it helped with getting that list, getting the 100 list. I don't even remember where my little, oh, here it is. So guys, if you are not overly scheduled, planned, or beautiful in your organization, it's totally fine. Scratch papers have been my system for years, and it totally works. You just can't lose these, okay? If notes in your phone work better, totally fine. Screenshots, I think I shared that tip with you guys. So make a new 100 list, make a new 20 list, right? Top 20, look at who's been looking at your stories. Go gather a new list, a fresh list of people that have been liking and commenting on your last 5 posts, okay? The next thing is be a reader this month. Leaders are readers. So I'm curious, I want you to pop in the chat right now, because we're going to be leaders and accountable to each other. What book you're reading? I am reading Keith Callahan's Build to Last book. If you have not read that, if you haven't actually ordered it, I know his season 1 of his podcast is the book, or like he's just reading it. And I did that a couple months ago, and I think I'd maybe listened to it more than once, or I started, going into season 2. Go get the book. That way you can highlight it, you can mark it up, you can teach your team from it, you can pull quotes from it, encourage your people with it, get them reading it, because I mean, there's multiple great, amazing network marketing books, but that one is the most recent one that I've read, and it's really good. And if people have not read a basic network marketing skills book, like, they need to. Just the silvers on your team, that can be their gift from you, maybe with a piece of swag or something fun also, but like, they need a book so that they have a manual to follow. I mean, the things that we host and offer online and the Zooms, like, those are great, but they're going to learn so much from a book mentor that they have, in their bedroom, or, as they tap in and read themselves, they're going to learn from that. So this is another one, exactly what to say. This is a slower read. That way you can chew on and try the examples that he gives, because he gives little sound bites in this book. So those are my top 2 recommendations. So pop in the chat what book you have read or are reading this month. Number 3, sorry, let's see. Okay, number 3, plan an in-person team training or Zoom for your team. Okay, so as leaders, we're not just always depending on the uplines to host the things, because your people want to hear from you. That's why they joined you, because they like you. And sometimes we got to put our big girl panties on and be like, okay, I can do this. And you know what? Newsflash, most of us are figuring out things as we go. We don't necessarily know it all. We just are willing to like step out and try it and fail, fail forward, right? Same goes for parenting and life and most things we're doing, right? So, okay. And one of my homeworks that I gave on week 3 was to schedule an in-person sip and see before the end of the month. So I'm curious if any of you did that. I'm sharing with you guys also, because I want to hold myself accountable. I helped a level 2 do one on Sunday. Tonight we're doing the follow-up. I think I shared that whole process with you guys. Do it in person, then do a follow-up online. So tonight is the online version of that. We're just carrying it over, doing the same little spiel basically on Zoom. And in a minute, I'm going to share with you kind of a system around that. And you guys are totally invited. If you don't have something planned, you're totally invited to plug into what my team is hosting the next 3 days, because we have a Zoom event every night this week, so that it's rinse, wash, repeat, so easy for people to plug in, get their 4 people added to earn the Christmas cash, get their 8 people to get added to earn the Christmas cash. Okay, so pop in the chat if you did your training for your team and have a Zoom scheduled, or sorry, an in-person event scheduled. If you have not yet, there's still time in the month. Okay, I know this probably sounds crazy to people that are so scheduled and so organized and they need like 2 weeks to plan. What if you flew by the seat of your pants? You either hosted a open house sip and see like tomorrow or the next day, or you ask someone on your team like, hey, let's just do an in-person event. I'll pop over, I'll bring my stuff. Let's share our stories. We don't have to overthink it. Okay, and then I'm also doing something at the Mattoon Library. If you're local to me, you can totally come to this on Wednesday. Okay, so super, super simple. This is rinse, wash, repeat. The things that will compound in your business. All right, and then your KPI sheets. So don't forget about those. Okay, and then when I gave some homework a couple weeks ago, I said to get your plexus protected hours on the calendar. So curious how that's going. Done is better than perfect. So if you feel like it's been kind of imperfectly perfect, totally fine. But it's the intention of realizing like you got to get it planned out, right? Same with for November, like do this for November also. This is not something where you're just tapping in and like learning these things for the month. Like we're trying to establish patterns and habits and helping you guys get some of these things as part of your system. Because like every month I put my goals on paper and I want to teach everybody to do the same thing, because that will help you be more successful if you can see your goals, if you can write them down. Like it's so simple. It's like it's not rocket science stuff, but most people don't do that. And that, no wonder they're not going anywhere, right? Okay. Oh, attend a Plexus Power Hour. And we are still hosting those this week. So if you want to tap in and be on those power hours, that's in the group. The links are posted. Okay. Did you guys all get all of your level ones messaged about earning the Christmas cash? And if you did 3 weeks ago, I want you to go do it again. Okay. And ask them if they're open to learning more about that. Okay. Little secret. It's going to be extended to November also. And so if you have some last minuters that come in, and if they don't quite get their, you know, they don't quite get a level 1 yet, it's okay, because in November they totally can do the same, and they get double cruise credits, which is really important. Reminder, new people that upgrade and start sharing, they get doubled cruise credits their first month, their entire first month, which is also why it's important to be chatting with our people and getting them in the mode and thinking about it. And, you know, the VIPs that come in that aren't really thinking about sharing, but you know, offer that perspective now, they can start thinking about that and have the entire month of November to upgrade, you know, to get their cruise credits. Yeah. Julia, did you have a question about that?
We had a little situation with this today, so I just wanted to clarify this just for anybody else who misunderstood. So in my head, a calendar month is a full 30 days. And so Cassie checked with Carissa this morning, and Carissa did a few checking, and it is only a calendar month. So if they sign up today, then they have, what would it be, like 2 days or 3 days technically to earn the double points. So it is best if they transition that in November, they have a full 30 days. So is that, am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah. And see,
Okay.
this is how my brain works. I never want people to wait. So
I
like, if they
agree.
have
No, I
people, like,
totally agree.
yeah, if they have people lined up and they're ready to roll, I mean, it kind of depends
Yeah.
on the person. Like if you know for a fact they're joining you for the business, they want to earn the cruise, like they're really clear on that, like then I would have a conversation about like, okay, let's get everybody lined up, and November 1st, we're signing all these people. Like we're getting their contact. We're like, you're going senior silver day 1 of November 1st, right? But for the general people, you know, that are like your VIP customers that are like, oh, sure, Christmas cash, you know, use your best intuition on what to do in light of that. I'm not going to tell you yes or no, like wait, because I never like saying wait if someone is like strikes while the iron's hot, right? But all of us have a ton of people that we probably need to go back and just have a conversation with, because we know there's always a time lapse, even with the best urgency and intentions to, create the urgency. Sometimes like they're not ready to actually sign their first VIP until next week. Okay, so it's really important to get in conversations now, swing back into those old conversations with, the level ones that may or may not share. That's the other thing, is like, we want to have a conversion rate and you want to look at those numbers in your back office. That recruitment number is really great. That's a good sign, right, of a healthy team growing. But you want to see those upgrades. That to me is truly the sign of a healthy team, is if you're getting duplication, because the recruitment is fantastic as long as your duplication is at least 10% of that number. So for example, if you have, whatever, 30 people coming into your team this month, you want to have at least 10% of those people upgrading, at least 3. That seems really low, but like, I would work on like 3 to 5 to 10 people getting upgraded. That means they have shared with one person, they've upgraded their account, they are technically now a brand ambassador and could potentially go silver, senior silver, or gold this month or next month. Okay. And also don't discount the fact that some people, when given a time limit, and you create the urgency, that they can totally find 4 friends in the next couple of days. Okay. And then lastly, be working through your 100 list of people. And I just want to remind everybody of the team systems. Okay, we have our Sunday night opportunity call. That is fantastic. The rinse, wash, repeat, funnel people into that, teach your team the system. So they're going to be inviting to that, getting people on the Zoom, following up, hopefully getting them signed up, and we're starting to work the business. And then they duplicate that every Sunday night with their people and potentials. Okay. And it's not harder. Repeat after me. It's not harder to train people to message about the business as it is for the products, or to post about the business. Okay. So reminder there. And then Thursday nights are our product, little 15-minute messenger events. So simple to have those 2 benchmarks. Okay. However, I just saw a fun thing that Brooke Hemingway shared yesterday. So right away we pivoted and made some little tweaks to that, but we are doing, and I think Tina Marie also posted this on Jessica's team page also, where everyone's funneling to, in the verbiage invites, everything is right there in that post, okay, where you can message and utilize the information shared there. But I wanted to extend the invitation. If any of you want to utilize our Zooms, we're hosting tonight, tomorrow night, and Thursday night. And they're just little 30-minute Zoom opportunity calls. We'll talk about products, technologies, a little bit about the business, a little bit of product information. So the idea, the goal is to get your people, invited, your potentials, your new VIPs, and the goal is to help more people share and earn their Christmas cash. So one thing I would make a little star today, if you do nothing else, I would contact the people, pull the list. Okay, pull the list of your teammates that have added 1, 2, 3 people, and get in conversation with them to encourage them to get their new VIPs on, and to get Abigail, and to get their potentials on, so that they can earn and lock in that Christmas cash for the $200. Okay, I'm gonna go hand her off. Talk amongst yourselves for like okay. I'm back. I'm actually going to move this to gallery view. There we go. Okay, I can see you all. Alrighty. Last time I also taught about the PLLP. I hope that was helpful to you guys. Have you all been practicing that? The PLLP? I don't see Amber, but I will let her in when I see her. PLLP I taught on last time. It is a system that's so simple and so easy to duplicate with anyone, whether they're a product user that's willing to start sharing, or a seasoned person that you're helping to relaunch, or you're relaunching yourself. So the acronym stands for Post List Live Party. you can go back and rewatch that, but it's so helpful, so insanely simple. So I keep repeating it so that we can we get onto that. Also, I know one of your assignments last week was watching Tamara's little training video on how she networked within Facebook groups, and she has multiple jewel or diamond legs from doing that. So anyways, reminder, if you haven't watched that yet, and to always be networking, because you never know, keeping the long game in mind, you never know how the connections that you have now are going to feed into your business or your life or your ministry later on down the road, how sometimes those relationships come back around. Okay, and I also wanted to address Marianne's system really quickly, because I shared about that last time, and I put the post in the exclusive group, our little group, with the details. So like when she gets someone that's wanting more information about the business, then she funnels them in. She first has them watch Jessica's newest lifestyle plexus video that she just had created. It's an like highly emotional, pretty short and sweet showcase of plexus and network marketing in a beautiful way. Okay, so that's her first thing, her first step. And then she sends them right before, so she schedules a call with them, and then before they hop on, she has them watch her 6-minute little spiel about basically plexus comp plan, but it's like a super easy listen about the ins and outs of the business part. I did have a couple of questions that popped up, and I messaged Trisha, because I'm friends with Trisha, and she said, Megan, it's so insanely simple. She's like, Marianne keeps it so crazy simple. And she said, you would laugh if I sent you her verbiage, because it's like there's no verbiage to it necessarily, except like super short and sweet. If someone's interested in the business, it's like, well, what are you interested in? Okay. It's just kind of a volley back and forth conversation. It's not even anything that's like overly stupendous. She's just being a human, connecting with other people, trying to figure out what their needs are, and then trying to meet those needs, right? And help plug them into information. And then also her pink party, she said, she goes, Megan, it is so crazy. She goes, it is the person that is hosting. It is the person. That's why personal growth is so important. That's why it's important to grow ourselves and to work on being that magnetic, excited, genuine person, because people are truly attracted not to the group, not to like the content, not to the verbiage. They're attracted to you. And so I just wanted to put that out to everybody to like really work on that. Like we can all work on ourselves, work on our, work on what we say and how we say it, but just like what's in us, like what is like coming from our heart. And she's like, so with the pink party, she's like, I have people duplicate all those all the time. She's like, and they don't have the same effect as when Marianne does it. So I'm not saying that to like discourage anyone if you want to duplicate, because I feel like there's always a level of like, find what's working for some people and just duplicate it. But at the end of the day, I really honestly think it's us connecting genuinely, encouraging people, getting people plugged into information. As much as it would be easier to systematize everything all the time, I think it comes back to us being willing to truly help and serve with what people's pain points are and finding out what those are to begin with. Okay. All right. So, quick reminder, it's the end of the month. So what are we doing? We're funneling people into the Thursday event. And any of the Zooms that I'm hosting, I'm happy to share. It's the same link as this link right now. So just save it to notes in your phone. And I actually have a call at 6:30 p.m. Central and 7. So I have 2 Zooms back to back, and you're welcome to pop on either one of those and utilize them for potentials and anyone of your level ones that are willing to share and invite people and get their people on. Okay. Rinse, wash, repeat that. Also, Thursday is the messenger event, right? 7:30 p.m. Central. So that's if it's easier for you to funnel people in, invite people to that. That way, every single day, there's a mission. And then if we're all rowing together towards the end of the month, filling the funnel, getting people started, don't forget to leverage the Calming Cocoa swim pack. That is fantastic. And there's a beanie that comes with the twin pack. So I would be sorting your back office, finding out like 0 PV people who still has yet to place an order, where are the declined orders, like comb back through your back office. It is tedious work, but like we're serving people. Also, this is what contributes to our paychecks, right? And so the work is worth it. It is tedious, but that's okay. That is totally okay. Pull some reports or just sort your reports so that you can see who those people are that have yet to place an order, and just create conversations with those people. Quick voice messages, all it needs to take. Okay, so I'm gonna open it up. Let me switch this back to the gallery view. And if you guys have any resistance coming up, any fears, any questions about like, what do I need to be doing end of month, stuck conversations where you don't know what to say next, or you're not sure what to do next, this is your chance. This is your moment. So, or if you have something to chime in or a win to share, I'm going to actually swing through the chat real quick and see what y'all said.
I have a question.
Yes. Hey, Kelly.
Maybe a mindset problem. I don't know what it is. But I have had like my VIP enrollments this month are like crazy higher than they've been in, like maybe since 2020. And I'm super excited about that. But I also know that I don't want to just continue to enroll VIPs. Like I know that I need to duplicate. That is like where I'm at in my business. I need to duplicate. So I have this block in my mind because I've had a lot of people start, a lot of people quit. Like I don't want to mess it up, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I don't want to not take advantage of this because what's happened this month is like most of these people have come to me. And so it hasn't been like me trying to get people to use products. Like they're actually interested, they're in it. So like I feel like I'm dealing with a different group of people that are going to maybe be more open to sharing. Some of them I've already done the thing where I'm like, okay, if you get good results with your products, are you interested? Are you open to sharing that kind of thing? But what usually happens for me is that I have all the steps, like I know what steps to do, but like I give them one thing to do and they either do it but aren't open to doing anymore or they do it and don't get results. So they're like, nah, getting people to like actually follow up on their posts or make a second post or and I feel like I've just had so many people that stopped there that I'm like frozen a little bit.
Okay. So when you said, tell me the demographics of your month, you have signed people?
Yeah, I've had 17 new VIPs.
17. Oh my goodness. And they have
Yeah.
you?
Yes.
Wow. That
Yes.
is incredible. That's huge. So what were you doing? Like what have you
I
dissected?
think I think
Done?
the biggest change has been in my content.
Okay.
I'm posting 4 times a day. I have really been working on following what Bob Heilig suggests and doing the different categories of posts between like proof, value, connection, and invitation. And the last like 2 months, I have been really focusing on adding value around the problems that Plexus solves and not mentioning Plexus. So I think what people have started to see is like, oh, she knows what she's talking about. So when I share just a fact about the liver, they're like, oh, tell me more because they don't feel like I'm trying to sell to them. It's
Mhm.
like, oh, she is learning about this. She's using this. So it's been a couple months of being consistent with that. But then when Jessica challenged us to post 4 times a day, like my engagement went like way up. So I have people commenting, I have people liking, I have people sending me messages. It's
Mhm.
amazing. I love it. But
Sweet.
I don't
Okay.
want to mess it up.
Okay. Well, what if, okay, here's a question. What if you can't mess it up?
Well, that would be a relief.
For sure. For sure, for sure. And what if out of this huge chunk of people that have come in and come to you because of what there's some sort of value that you have sold to them or shared with them that they see it. Like you're not going to people to convince them to try it. They're coming to you saying, yeah. So what if your retention is higher because they came to you and you have been educating them for months
Yeah.
and that has compounded, right? What if in this group of 17 people, you have leaders?
Yeah.
And what if you don't have to handhold them and babysit them? Does that feel more freeing in
It
like
does.
Lexus work?
It does. I honestly, my biggest prayer for my team has been that God would rise up leaders, and I've been praying specifically like for the leaders, right? Not even like Lord, just bring me VIPs. Like no, I want the VIPs, but I know they have to be a VIP before they're going to be an ambassador. And um, So I see God working so much. I'm just praising him for the fruit. I even had one person like last week, we had to send messages, business messages. Well, somebody signed up for the business last week. Like I don't even know what's happening. It's really exciting, but um, you're right. Maybe I don't need to worry about all of them becoming ambassadors and just taking the steps that I know to take and seeing who responds.
Exactly. And I love that you're expressing gratefulness and gratitude to the Lord for answering prayer. And
Yeah.
then also one little pivot in your prayers could be that those leaders would show themselves. That way you know exactly who to pour
Yeah.
into. That way you're not uh not that our time is ever a waste. I'm not saying that, but where you know your time and your energy and effectiveness is going to be spent in the best way possible, in the most efficient way.
Yeah. I think that's part of my fear too, is like I've been doing this for 7 years. I have invested in a lot of people and they have all drifted away. And I don't necessarily blame myself for that. I don't, there's not actually really one of them that I wish would come back, you know, but because I don't think they were the right fit for the team or for what, what we have here. But um, just knowing who and then not being afraid to like go all in with those people, I think would,
Right.
yeah.
So you got great practice with the people that you've worked to develop over the past 7 years. You've learned. So I don't feel like any of that experience is ever for naught,
Right.
because you're more confident. You have a better system. Like you are more equipped to help the people now that are the true leaders that are going to stick with it. And, even the ones that are going to be lifers on the products, like you're more equipped to help them, hit their health goals. And also, this is a filtering process. I know none of us want to go through the filtering process. We want all of our future diamonds to be in the first 10 people that we sign, but the reality is a lot of the times they're not. And there's a lot of people that we work with to find to sift out and shake out those gold nuggets, or diamonds in the rough. Um, so do you feel like you have a good do you feel like you have a good system in place for the 17 that you brought in, or they came to you? So you have the new 17, this whole new gold team, essentially. Do you feel
True.
like you have some insight in light of who shows a little bit of spark? Have you thought through that?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've signed up like 7 since Saturday. So those I haven't like really gotten a feel for like if they're going to be open to it, because literally they just ordered their products. I gave them the welcome information. And so but I am getting a different response from people that's more open to just like sharing what they're struggling with. And it might be part of the verbiage that I'm using to investigate that before they order.
Mhm.
Um, and then I'm planning on getting like on the phone with people when they get their products and just talking about their goals a little bit more than I have. So I think I'm switching the way that I kind of care for people too. And so now I need to take like what would I have done before with all of these people when it comes to asking them about the business, and how does that kind of fit in? Um, but I know I have some mindset stuff about just asking somebody to post too.
Okay. So what if you just did it and you didn't have drama around it? What if you just asked them like on a whim, like, "Hey, I had a crazy idea." And then you sent them the post. Seriously, I do this. I do it. And I mean, not 100% of people are willing to do it, but
Hmm.
it's so interesting because you will find some that
Yeah.
totally are. And I think that it's important to use your own intuition also, because sometimes if you're like, not feeling it with that person, you have to be careful, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's a fear that's holding you back. Other times it's, legit, like they've shared their life story with you and you just feel like probably not a good time to like, there's
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
heal.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, I feel like, leader intuitions, but I think the quicker you can capitalize on their excitement, the better. And so in my first initial message back when I get someone signed up, I tell them about the referral bonus. Do you do that with your new people?
Not like right off the bat, but like within the first week and a half, I do.
Okay, so there's one thing I think you could pivot on and just try it. See
Okay.
how it works. But I use Jessica's verbiage for this. It's I tweaked it to make it my own, but it's in notes on my phone. It's like basically a welcome text. Hey, so excited for you, Sherry. Has their username, password, my getting started video. So if you have your own getting
Yeah,
started
I
video,
do. I should put that in there. I have the same message that's just like that. A
oh,
video. Okay.
yeah.
I need
And
to
then
add
it
that.
says you can share this referral link if you want. If 3 of those do the same thing you just did before the end of October, you'll make over $300 and over $500 if you have 4 friends to do this with you. Extra cash incentives for Christmas. Something to keep in mind in case if you want friends want to do the detox challenge with us. That's a little bit. That should have been. That
Yeah.
was like earlier in October.
Specific. Yeah.
And then I link their replicated website. And then Jessica has been saying, make this part of our system where we send them the share a cart link for them.
Yeah.
So like exactly what they ordered. That way it's a literally a copy paste. They can share it with 3 or whatever, 4 friends, what they ordered. And that way it takes the community, like it reduces the time. It reduces so much verbiage around like, well, let's see what what are their health goals? What do we recommend? All they need to say is, hey, friend, I'm starting these products. Do you want to try them too? And if they say, yeah, like they get an accountability partner, they get a buddy right off the bat, then boom, they just send their cart over. Super simple.
Yep.
Super simple. So what if we all tried that? Like, can we just do a test group? Can we just collaborate on this and be like, okay, we're going to be the test group for this. And we're going to come back in a month and see how it worked with our new VIPs to like send them their share cart link so like make an asterisk of that. Can we try that, guys? Seriously,
Yeah.
I will do it too because I don't do it, but I will add that to my system because I think it makes it so crazy simple. If you don't know how to share a cart link, I'm pretty sure there's a graphic on that.
There's like a video, I think, even on the team page about it.
Yeah.
Can
So
I ask a question about that?
yeah,
About sending a share cart? You have to have their login information, correct? To send that share cart?
I think so.
So
Yeah.
if they have, okay, so how do you do that when people have signed up themselves? That you don't have their login information, so you can't send them a share cart from their account.
That is a
You see
great
what I'm
question.
asking?
I actually don't have this part of my system yet, but I'm going to start because that's what Jessica is telling us to do. So that's a great question. I will find out.
Yeah, there is a
I get it
graphic.
if you've signed them up because I have like their account information and I can do it from my end, and I do that sometimes, but some people don't, they sign up themselves. So I was just curious if there was another way around it.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
a graphic on the
I
Team
don't-
Plexus provision page that gives all of the steps of like, you can literally just send them this graphic and then they would be able to create it. Or you could just say, hey, I'm going to get a link ready for you. Do you mind sharing your login information with me? Usually people are willing to do that if you're just doing.
Yeah.
One thing I have started is with all of my VIPs that I sign up, I ask them, I typically am on the phone with them. I do a lot of my signups on the phone. And then I ask them, do you have 5 minutes so I can show you how to create a link? Because when you start feeling better, or even before then, if you want some accountability partners, you're going to want to share this with them. And we can teach you how to share link just like I did to you. And most everybody has been really open to that. So then I don't have to manage their accounts and I'm teaching them right away.
Mm-hmm. Super smart. Yeah. Okay, exactly. So just do that. Either send them the graphic and double check to make sure they make it. So check it back in with them or just ask for their login and do it real quick for them. I'm on the advisory board, and so I'm going to request that we have a Plexus generated one that gets sent directly to them. Then we can just follow up and be like, hey, did you get your little link? So yeah, so smart. Okay, so Kelly, back to your system. I think that like I really think that if you reduce the time gap from when you start talking about sharing and maybe it's in your mind like figuring out how to present it in a way that's really genuine and conversational and organic. So this is what I do that I feel like works really well is that I encourage them to grab a buddy. I just say, hey, it's like maybe in your voice message, or if you're on the phone with them, you can be like, hey, also, I always recommend everyone do this with a buddy. So curious who in your circle, who in your life would do this with you. And then just see what they say. And if they can't think of anyone, then you may give some ideas. So you're planting some seeds like, hey, think of anybody in your circle that deals with migraines, autoimmune, like you're listing off some things, and they may give you some names. So I think it's the reducing the time and capitalizing on their excitement. So my goal is always to get people like plant the seed right off the bat and then voice message or get them on the phone. And part of the conversation, talking about their products or whatever, you're asking them if they would be willing to share. And I have had so many people that said they're not willing to share that end up sharing or posting because I follow back up and be like, hey, what if you made this little post? Let's just see what happens. And I'll actually send them what to post.
Mm.
So curious, is that bringing up stuff for you right now with your 17 new people?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think I do need to like plant it earlier, and I just need to like make it lighter, I think. But I think the one other place that I'm getting stuck is that like I'll get people that say yes to sharing and they'll make a post or maybe even two, but then it just like dies off right after that. Even though I'm setting the expectation, like you're teaching your audience about what you're doing. Like you may or may not have any responses. So do you just kind of let those people go, or do you kind of check in with them periodically? Like you said, like there's going to be people that run that you don't have to do that with. Those are your leaders. But there might be some that could just be silver,
Yeah.
and
I definitely keep tabs on them. I would put them on your board or whatever your system is and like have a little listy list. That way on like every day as you sit down to do your work, like, oh, I'm going to check back in with Gloria or, hey, so-and-so made a post. It's kind of like, especially when you're hand holding, and these are not necessarily leaders or they're just baby stepping, where you're basically recruiting through them. Like you're getting them, you're tapping into their network essentially. So you're looking for people that they can connect you with that you can talk to. So Emily Roberts gave me this idea. She said for this season, this was like 2 years ago. She's like, actually, I'm not having people post first. She goes, I'm having more results with having them text 6 friends. And she sends them what to text. It's like, hey, I'm starting this 3-day reset challenge. I want a couple friends to do this with me. Would you do it with me? It's on special right now. Let me know. It's like super, super easy peasy, but I think giving the verbiage and just asking, because you may have chatted in the past, and I feel like this sometimes shades our perspective. Like, you feel like what you've tried in the past hasn't worked, but it doesn't mean that that won't work in the future. Because you with this new influx of 17 new people that are totally excited and maybe just a different type of people, like maybe 16 out of 17 of them are like totally not afraid to tell their network what they're doing. Because sometimes I think we get burned a little bit by hearing no's. They don't want to, but there's a bunch of people that are way more open to it. And I feel like things have shifted in the past 7 years. And what was a little weird, 7 years ago, it's not anymore. Everyone's sharing links. Everyone's referring friends to whatever products they're using. And so this is no different, and I'll tell you this, you guys. So one of Angie and Berzetti's girls, Rita, she decided last winter that she was going to go to Silver Stars. So that's the amazing trip that you can earn, that all of you need to be earning before you hit Senior Ruby, where you get to go on a corporate for on a free trip. You get to take a guest, you get a spa afternoon. It is so incredible. You get dinners with executives, you get to tour the corporate office. But it's the way you earn it is basically every month there's a pool of people that are developing silvers. And the person or the whatever top 2 or 3 that develop the most silvers get picked as the winners. Okay. And it doesn't have to be tons and tons of silvers. It is just dependent on who's developing silvers that month. And so what Rita did, she decided she was going to do it in February. So she made a chat thread and threw a bunch of her people that have either added no one, maybe 1 or maybe 2 into this chat, did the silver in 6, nothing happened. Like radio silent. So she's like, okay, pivoting from there. So in March, she decided that she was going to message everybody. And instead of asking them if they wanted to share, she told them. So slight little verbiage shift. I think it probably took some more boldness on her end, but she just like went into Messenger. I can probably find the verbiage. She sent it to me, but it was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. I want to help 3 people. And here's the deal. And then from there, she said, so she blitzed it out to like 75 people in her. I think it was more than her level 1s. It might've been her 1 through 3s or something. Out of the 75 people, and I'm making that big number up. I can't remember how many people it was exactly, but it was a lot. Okay. Out of that number, only a small percentage of them replied, and only 9 of them went silver, and only 2 of them went senior silver. But heck yeah, she earned the trip and she got 9 silvers and 2 senior silvers. Is that not amazing? And what she tried in February totally didn't work, shifted her verbiage, went personal, messaged everyone, wasn't afraid of the whatever it was, 65 people that didn't reply. She was willing to work with the 10 that did, and then look what happened. So anyways, I wanted to share that story because I thought it was so interesting, how we can just shift a tiny bit. So,
Yep.
okay, great question.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay. Well, this is exciting, Kelly. So you keep us posted how
Okay.
things shake out, because November is going to be so incredible. I can't wait for you guys to hear all the things of what's planned. But the goal for right now is like, let's close out October as strong as possible. And I would challenge you to get as many of those people a buddy as soon as possible and start the conversation, because they may not be ready to share with a buddy until November 1st, but that's okay. You've at least cracked that conversation open and helped them start to take steps to do that.
Yep, for sure. Okay.
Okay, who else? Let's see, what time is it? Oh yeah, we have 12 minutes. Don't be afraid of the silence. Who else says something?
I'm kind of sick, but that 4 friends post that we posted this morning, I just had a friend message me and said, okay, I'll do it.
Yay!
And I tagged him in the comments.
Sweet.
I tagged a lot of my potentials in the comments. So
Smart. Okay, so if you guys haven't seen, so part of that post system that Jessica has in the rally chat, and then I have on my Momentum Makers group, there's a post that Brooke has in there with the verbiage. So go to my wall, you can go snag it. It's the post that I posted last night. Super simple, put a like eye-popping picture with it and duplicate it on your team. Like I'm seeing so many people on our team post it, and they're getting a lot of feedback from that. And so sometimes it's just the little pipe up of, hey, go make this post, try it, let's see what happens. And like make it go viral within our teams, right? Because you never know how like a post for one person, that particular person, like they post it, their audience sees it, and it can totally bring in a whole new set of people for them.
I messaged all my old customers and I've had 2 of them or 3 of them posted already today.
Sweet.
So
yeah, with branding new people, I also feel like helping them know what to do next is important. So if they get likes or comments, screenshot, send it to them and say, hey, look at all this support that you've gotten. Here's a little message to pop out to each of those people that liked or commented. It's basically, hey, thanks for supporting my post. Have you heard of Plexus? Or hey, would you ever be game for trying Plexus? And I feel like this is the time of the month when you whip out the, hey, I have a little incentive if you want to be my product tester for the next 90 days or 60 days, through the end of the year. Don't be afraid of putting out incentives. That's how I totally grew our business from the beginning, is putting out some little, encouragers and motivation for, little extra, a little extra honey to encourage people to just get started. Even if that means you're putting a little rebate on top of, the give 10 or something.
So Megan, Erin has her screen off, so I hope she can hear, but I'll listen and tell her. She's 17 away from Ruby. What would you do if you were 17 away from such an amazing goal? She has reached out to all her customers that haven't ordered yet. She has reached out about we have a 3-day reset going on, a perimenopause group coming up. Like, she's posted consistently. When she gets off this call, she is going to do a live. But what else? I love the tip that you guys just gave earlier about text them what to say, like, hey, send this to 6 of your friends, because if they're not willing to put a post up yet, that might be less intimidating for them. So I love that, and that's definitely something I think she'll probably go with as well. So, but any tips She's right there.
That is exciting. Does she have anyone sharing with her?
So she has two, and they're kind of just like, I'm good where I am right now, and they're not really. They've added several this month, but they're good. So they've kind of fizzled out here at the end, and it's almost like, this is your time to rally, ladies. Like, but they're content.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So what I would do with those girls is I would ask them, I would tell them about my goal. I don't know if Erin has yet or not, but I would tell them, hey, I am working on this huge goal, this team goal this month, going Ruby, but I can't do it by myself. So even if you don't feel like you have reasons to, share right now, would you be game for helping one more VIP get started before the end of the month? I mean, it's also dependent on like what her relationship is with them. If she knows that they could make another post and sign another 5 people, then I would ask them if they'd be willing. And at the end of the day, if they're not willing, no worries, but it's at least worth the ask. And I think that sometimes as leaders, we forget that some people will work harder for a goal that we've set than a goal that they have, because it feels different. It feels like, oh my word, I want to help you hit your goal. And so that might shift something for them. Also, Jessica gave me this idea when I was working on Emerald, the very last day of the month. It's kind of like when you're in labor and you need your midwife or your doula or your husband to breathe your brain for you, because you're like, I don't know what I need to do. Like my brain is not functioning. And that's how I felt. That's how sometimes I feel like on a rank up month, as the person ranking up, we need ideas, right? We need someone to coach our brain because we're thinking, like there's just lots on our brain, right? And so as a sponsor, or a sideline, or if you're encouraging someone on a rank up month, popping in with ideas like, okay, hey, I want you to go post every hour or post every 2 hours, like on the dot, get good posts up, because you never know who's going to see your post at that given time. And so that last day of the month, we had a ton of posts posting on my wall, but it got different people. Like it was so weird. We even had people posting, like I had people post on my wall for me. So don't be afraid of doing that, for one. So just get more information out there. The live is a really good idea. Also, make sure that she's tagging her spouse, and any other family members that would be willing to let her like post on their wall or tag them. Maybe you do like a product tester post and like tag mom, mother-in-law, dad, sisters, if they're not in Plexus or whatever, and don't care. They, she promotes it to their networks. I also would try to get as many +1s as possible. So it's basically taking the whole, almost Ruby team and looking at like all the different angles, all the different asks, and coming up with like some fun things to try to get more shares, more people ordering some of the 0 PV people back. And those 16 or 17 people probably aren't going to come from just one thing. It's not going to be from like the one post she does. It's going to probably be from her being the little sparkler for getting people to share. And also I would encourage, maybe she's still on here. Erin, I would encourage you too, that the last 3 days of the month are the craziest. And that's when all the magic happens, probably because our intention is so much greater. Like we have, we just have momentum backing us. We have like enthusiasm, sidelines encouraging us. And so I would ask your VIP sharers or VIP orderers if they would be willing to, yes, text 5 friends or make a post. So if you haven't done that yet, I would definitely do that so that you can potentially get some of those 17 from your level 1s or level 2s sharing with a friend. And you might sweeten it. When Angie went diamond, she had a verbiage for I think it was like if they went silver, they got a free tub of collagen. But the numbers worked out where basically you're getting a $50 bonus for developing a silver. So you're basically giving that back to the person that's going silver. So you're not out money to do a larger incentive like that, but it could totally motivate, some people on the team. Okay, let's look in the chat. Here we go. Yeah, any sort of fun little incentive that you could think of to motivate. And there might be different demographics of people also. Also, the people that have shared, do they have 0 PVers? That's another thing, is like you could put out a little coupon stack like, hey, anyone on your team, you know, for those 2 girls, you could just like do a specific incentive for them and say, hey, anyone on your team or anyone that you sign in the next 3 days, we're going to do a little coupon stack. Also, countdown chats. Countdown in your team chat. That's also another really fun thing, where it's and that kind of works like if you have some more people sharing, but where you could put a little graphic, like a little GIF of like the number 5, and you're going to count down. So a 0 PV order works, an old person getting restarted works, and branding new VIP works. So any of those would contribute, and then you can count down and then give a prize after the 5th person signs. I'll also pull, there's a fun little incentive that Jen Cobb did at the end of last month, I think it was, and I tried it and it was so fun. It was like for every 5 people signed, then I'm going to give away like a coffee card. So every 5 signs, coffee card. If we got to 20, then I was giving away these cute sweatshirts. So it like unlocked prizes as the team was sharing. So there's some ideas too. Jessica might have some ideas that she wants to pipe into. That's exciting though. And I think the other thing to remember is look at the people that are close to silver. Look at the people that like sort your back office so you can see where people's points are, and then help them set a point goal. Maybe it's not that they're going to hit their next rank up goal because that's too far away, but help them like chunk it down. Like, hey, you're at 125 points. Like, let's work on getting you 150 points. Let's work on highest points ever, HPE, and make it fun, and maybe come up with some sort of little funsy that would motivate them to, you know, tap in and work some more. Sometimes it's just the creative ideas to come up with to ask different people, like, hey, this would be so fun.
I love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, I think Jessica is driving. I don't know if she's going to be able to pipe in or not. I actually have to hop off because I have a planning Zoom for a retreat that I'm hosting. So it was so great to meet with you guys. Remember, end of month, the work is worth it. It's going to be awesome. Jess, do you have anything that you want to pipe in? All righty. Well, I will see you guys on the Zooms tonight. I have one at 6:30, one at 7:30, and looking forward to a fantastic end of month. Oh, hey, Jess.
Hey, so sorry I had birthday and driving. I just want to say one last thing. Go for it. Go for the cruise. Go for other people getting on the cruise. Like, it is all a decision. It is a decision and an intention. There's people on your teams that have given up. No. Don't let them give up. But also I wanted to kind of say one more thing about Kelly, who had 17 this month. Oh my gosh, girl, so amazing. I wanted to give you some just piece real quick before we get popped off. Is it's okay to be wrong about people. What I mean about that is you said something like, I don't want to mess it up. I want them all. I want to help them all. I don't want to mess it up. And you're the perfect example. If there's ever an example, your upline does nothing and has it for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, that it doesn't, you don't even need an upline telling you what to do. Certain people are going to be successful and certain people are not. It has nothing to do with you. Praise God for his awesome provision of sending people to you in droves. And kudos to you for your commitment and consistency of 4 posts a day. So good job, everybody. I didn't hear everything else everybody else said, but love ya. Go get see you on the cruise.